The Legend of Lake Elsie. A group of teenagers sit around a campfire, roasting marshmallows and telling scary stories.
Have you guys heard about the lake monster that lives in Lake Elsie?
Lake Monster. That's just an old wives' tale.
I don't know. My grandpa went swimming here once and said he saw something moving in the water.
Let's go check it out. I want to see this lake monster for myself.
The group laughs and agrees to go for a late-night swim. As they splash around in the water, they hear strange noises and catch glimpses of a shadowy figure across the lake. Ethan wipes his eyes and the monster is gone.
Guys, I think we should get out of the water.
Oh, come on. It's probably just a fish.
Suddenly, the water starts churning and the teens scream in terror as a creature emerges from the depths. Its white, rotten flesh face and black eyes stares down at Claire. The teens scramble to get out of the water, but the monster is too fast. It grabs Claire and drags them under. The rest of the group rushes to the car in fear.
What are we going to do?
We have to find out what that thing is. We're going to the ranger station. Maybe there's a way to stop it?
The group arrives at the ranger station. Slow down, what's the matter?
The lake monster. It's got Claire.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Okay, follow me. The monster was once a boy named Danny, who went missing in the lake decades ago. Through a series of flashbacks, the teens learned the tragic story of Danny's disappearance. He had been out fishing with his father when a sudden storm struck, and he was swept away by the rough waters. His father searched for him for days, but there was no sign of the boy. Unknown to anyone, Danny survived the storm and was carried deep into the lake by the current. In the darkness and cold, he began to change. His body was rotting underwater, and his mind began slipping into madness. Now, as the lake monster, Danny searches for his way back to the surface and to his family, but his twisted nature has turned him into a fearsome predator.
Why don't you guys do anything about it?
We've tried. We sent multiple teams. A lot of rangers don't return, and the ones that do quit their jobs and never come back. This is all I can give you to help your friend.
Well, that was a waste.
I say let's fight this thing ourselves.
Are you crazy? I'm calling my mom and going home.
Fine, be like that. I always knew you were a fake friend.
The two teens walk back to the lake. Upon returning, they notice their camp has been ransacked.
Maybe Ethan was right? There's no way we can do this with just the two of us.
You do what you want, but there's no way I am leaving Claire.
If I was none the wiser would think you have a crush on them.
Stop that. I just don't want anything bad to happen to them.
The teens hear a noise by the water.
Well, if we are doing this, I'm glad to have you as a friend.
The teens walk towards the water. They see something has washed up on shore. It's the lifeless body of Claire. The teens gag in disgust.
I am so sorry, Nate.
We wasted too much time at that stupid ranger station.
There's nothing we could have done.
I shouldn't have listened to you.
Nate picked up a rock and throws it. Ava is struck in the head and falls backwards, gasping for air and holding onto her bloody forehead. Shocked at what he had done, Nate runs over to Ava as she blacks out. Ava wakes up hours later in the same spot with the t-shirt trapped around her head.
Nate, where are you?
Ava slowly gets up and noticing that Claire's body is gone. Ava walks around the shoreline behind a rock. While catching her breath, Nate's impaled body with the missing arm falls onto her. Ava tries to scream, but she's too weak. Instead, she slowly makes her way back to land. Once on the trail, she sees a man in the distance and makes her way towards him. The closer she gets, she notices the man is calling for a boy named Danny.
Danny,
Sir, you need to get out of here. It's not safe.
have you seen my son Danny?
What? No. You need to leave.
All of a sudden Ava sees the white rotten face of the monster. Her shock is illustrated on her face. Ava begins to run.
Danny. Danny, oh, there you are at last.
The monster takes a step towards him and reaches around his neck. Ava hears the sound of flesh and bones being ripped from the man's neck. In horror, she closes her eyes and trips on a log, once again injuring her already damaged head. She tries to roll around to get back up, but she sees the monster standing over her. She goes to scream, but the same sound of flesh and bones is heard throughout the forest. The ranger steps out of the station and walks out onto the dock while drinking a cup of coffee. The ranger slowly exhales.